again. So as promised, I do want to talk through kind of the first round of the 2026 Masters. So it was an incredible first round. A lot of quality names at the top of the leaderboard. So Rory McIlroy at 5 under shares the lead with Sam Burns. I think I talked about McIlroy in my predictions. I do feel like he got the most out of his 5 under score. Kind of watching him play today, and that's a little bit scary. Be a little bit dangerous. He's kind of somehow flying a bit under the radar. He hasn't won since the Masters victory last year in 25 to complete the career Grand Slam. But how big would this be for Rory? 5 majors, he's got the career Grand Slam. Like, that was the big move right there, right? But then now he's playing for a piece of history, right? He's really playing to move his name up into the top 15, the top 10. Some people already have him there. With 5 majors, he's one behind guys like Phil Mickelson, Lee Trevino, Nick Faldo. I think already you could make an argument that he's higher than those players because Faldo, he won the 3 Masters and 3 Opens, but he didn't ever win the PGA or the US Open. Or Lee Trevino famously never won the Masters. Phil Mickelson famously 6-time runner-up the US Open and never won it. So those guys didn't win the career Grand Slam. I think if Rory were to win another major, I think you could make an argument that he's higher up on the list than at least those 3. And then if he were to win 2 more, guys was like 7 majors, and Jones 7 majors, not including his amateur victories, the 6 amateur victories, which were then considered majors at that time, right? And then you guys got like Sarazen and Arnold Palmer, just guys with big names that Rory is playing for history-wise. It would be huge for him. And also moving past Koepka, who has 5 majors. Sam Burns, when I talk about Sam Burns, the guy came out in 2021 to 2023 timeframe, won 5 times on the PGA Tour. I mean, he looked like he was going to be a big force, and he's kind of slowed up the last few years. At Oakmont last year, he did have a good run in winning that championship, and didn't end up winning. So he hasn't won for a few years, but he is playing well, and who knows? You just got to get one good week. He's definitely a quality player that could be a force here. And you've got some other guys like Kitayama, who you wouldn't necessarily expect to hang up there in the lead, but he has won a couple times on the tour, and Justin Rose, and they're with a 2 under round, bogey in the last couple holes, but just another super solid round from him. And you have just Scotty Scheffler, right, lurking at 2 under. Patrick Reed at 3 under, the 2018 Masters champion. That guy, like 5 top 10s in the Masters all time. The other 3 majors combined, he only had 3 top 10s. So, I mean, you look for Patrick Reed he obviously there's something about him in the Augusta, the Masters, that he seems to play well here, like some other guys. Schauffele's also in there at 2 under, and Fleetwood's at 1 under. You've just got a lot of quality names, and then Spieth in it even, Koepka in it even, Justin Thomas in it even, just a fully loaded Masters leaderboard, right, that we have right now. So it's going to be a lot of fun kind of going forward here. And the name, my prediction of Bryson DeChambeau is not panning out super great. It seemed like the front 9, if you watch him on the front 9, even par through 9, he was getting the best out of that. He wasn't playing well, and then the wheels just kind of fell off the bus on the back. You know, at 11, he had it took about 3 shots to get out of the sand bunker on 11 when you missed greenside right, and just, there was a story about him 3D printing a 5-iron. He could have 3D printed a sand wedge to get out of that bunker. Just kind of fell apart there and ended up with a triple bogey on 11, and that really just lost a lot of steam there. Whereas if I think it wasn't for that hole, you know, if he could have got in at even par, 1 over, you know, something, that would have been fine. We've seen guys, I think Tiger started at 2 over 1 year. I think it might have been 2005 and still came back and won. So, you know, if you're a good quality player, that you can still come back. But I think there's a saying that you can't win the Masters on day 1, but you can lose it. And DeChambeau is like, you might have just lost it, because you're going to have to get to probably like 12, 14 under to win this thing, and he's going to have to go lights out from here. It's going to be tough. But he wasn't alone in his his travails. Jon Rahm, also 6 over, going to have a struggle to make the cut. And Robert McIntyre just completely imploded with an 80. Was definitely having some struggles out there. So, you know, do I stick with the same prediction? I do think DeChambeau unlikely to win now. Can't really change my guess. We'll kind of see how it goes. It is the case that out of the last 20 years, only 4 times has the first round leader gone on to win. If that's the case, I think Rory's got at least a 20% chance of winning this particular Masters, starting with 5 under in the first round. So I definitely like his chances, but you can't write anything off yet. Scheffler is right where he wants to be, trust me, after round 1. Same with Schauffele. Justin Rose, pretty much about right where he wants to be. Super quality players, and this thing is not going to be won without a fight. Good night. I'll talk to you. See you in round 2 recap.